Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
Well, this next guest, she's one of our great friends and she's one of Australia's most acclaimed actresses. Of course, you know her from Julie and Packed to the Rafters and 1,000 other incredible roles. There's a new one, though, that I'm so excited about. A new show called Prosper starts on Stan tomorrow. It's a show about a wealthy evangelical family whose faith and ambition threaten to tear them apart. It sounds fabulous. Rebecca Gibney, hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Very
Great.
well. This is a role the likes of which I imagine you haven't played before.
Yeah, totally. It's actually been one of the toughest ones for me because throughout the course of the series, she deals with certain things that really do cause major conflict for her emotionally and spiritually. And so I was constantly questioning the scripts. I kept reading them going, oh, why is she doing that? And I had to keep going to the writers and they kept giving me the right answers. And it's because they're flawed. They might be people with lofty expectations and they are the heads of the church, but they're flawed because everyone is. So you're never going to live up to those expectations.
It's interesting you say that. As an actor, I've often thought about that. If you're in a movie and say you're like I'm a good guy, you know me, I'm a good guy. But imagine Hollywood calls me and they say, we want you to be a real bad guy. And then, well, I don't know if I could do that. But you... Yeah. So are you allowed to push back? So you get a script. Can you say, well, I don't think
my character would do that.
And they'll say, well, yeah.
Well, you can say that. But I mean, the great thing was with this, they're so layered. Every episode of this series, you peel back another layer of each character and you discover why they're behaving the way they are or why they're doing. And every one of them is completely relatable, even though they're flawed. I think the great thing about this series is that people will be able to like someone, then dislike them. They might not like what they're doing, but they'll understand why they're doing it. So I think the writing is fantastic in this series.
And Richard Roxburgh plays your husband, the sort of big evangelical showman, from what I can see. That's an interesting role for him too. Was it fun?
Look, you know what? At the end of every day, because we very rarely had fun together as characters because we're constantly battling each other, we kept saying at the end of the day, it'd be great to do a comedy after this. This I think, from my perspective, is one of his best performances because he is constantly challenged throughout this whole series. He is unraveling. So there's not a lot of laughs for Richard, and he's the only person I think that could have played it because he is so charismatic and he is so watchable and believable. When you see him start to unravel and you see him start to do certain things, you understand why he's doing them.
They all start with the best intentions, don't they? Like, you look at Jonestown, Jim Jones, he started with really good intentions, but how does it go from you want to help out everyone and live in this great world to all of a sudden you're all drinking poison Kool-Aid?
But whether you're evangelical, whether you're a politician, whether you're a business person, it's the same thing, doesn't it? You know, you start somewhere and suddenly you look back and you see a path you don't recognise anymore.
That's the thing. And I think what this series is trying to say is that power and wealth can corrupt even the faithful. And that's what this show's all about.
Love it. You live in New Zealand. How do you make that work for yourself? So if you film something like Prosper, for example, you just pack your bag and you stay in a hotel, you film it, and then you come home again. You work in chunks.
Yeah, I spent probably most of last year away from here. I was in Sydney for about 4.5 months in an apartment. So, and then I've been in Queenstown recently shooting Under the Vine Series 3. So
that's a great
I'm very
series.
rarely at home. I mean, and the reason we are, we love New Zealand, but we're also still here, as we were talking about before, because our son still lives here. So wherever he goes, I will...
Oh, really?
I'm going to be the stalker mum. We've only got one. So.
Well, he's a budding actor, so he could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if he ends up, like I said, in Kathmandu, I'll be there, knocking on the door. Aren't you watching one, darling?
I hope you can guide him to go somewhere that you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, can't he go to... Yeah, get him to go to cool places like Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii is great.
Oh yeah, Hawaii's great. Okay, I'll ask him that.
So there's some
He
stuff
hasn't got
over
a job yet. He's still at uni.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, so he'll be hanging around for some time then.
I think so. Well, he's in Wellington, so I keep popping him.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching it. Prosper is out tomorrow, only on Stan. Rebecca Gibney, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and hopefully I'll see you in the studio sometime soon.
We'd love that. Yes, please.